So 2026 is right around the corner, and you can feel it, right? It's bringing this huge wave of change with AI and all these economic shifts. The real question is, are you ready to not just survive it, but to actually thrive? Well, in this explainer, we're unlocking a powerful two-part playbook that's built for exactly that future. One part is all about AI-driven creation, and the other is about smart, savvy investing. Let's dive in.
Look, let's just get right to it. 2026 is staring us down. It's full of all this incredible promise from AI, but at the same time, it's kind of shadowed by this global uncertainty. So what's your plan? How are you going to make sure you come out on top?
And that's a super important question, because the old rulebook, it's pretty much being rewritten. Investment researchers have a name for this new era we're entering: controlled disorder. It sounds a little wild, but it's this fascinating mix of fierce competition on one hand and then totally unexpected teamwork on the other. Think big global issues like AI safety or climate action. It's complicated, for sure, but it's also packed with opportunities if you know where to look.
So, how do you even begin to navigate all this? Well, we're going to break down two powerful paths you can actually walk at the same time. The first path is all about active creation, using AI to build something totally new, something valuable. The second is about passive growth, taking the wealth you already have and growing it with a modern, intelligent plan. And the best part? You don't have to pick one. In fact, you should be doing both.
Okay, first up, let's jump into path number one, the AI entrepreneur. This is where you really take the driver's seat and start actively building out your financial future. What's just so incredible about this moment in time is that the old barriers to entry are just gone. I mean, think about it. Just a few years back, if you wanted to launch a real business, you needed a whole team of developers, a big chunk of cash. But now, thanks to AI, a single person with a solid idea can create something genuinely valuable. The game has totally changed.
And you gotta forget this myth of the big idea striking you like lightning. The absolute best business ideas, they usually come from something way simpler: irritation. Seriously, think about things like food delivery apps or ride-sharing services. Those weren't born in some fancy boardroom. They started because somebody, somewhere, got fed up and thought, there has to be a better way to do this.
So here it is, the actual path to finding your own business idea. And it's a really simple three-step journey. It all starts with a complaint, right? Something you or your friends are always frustrated about. Then, that frustration morphs into a question. Why is this so ridiculously hard? And right there, inside that question, that's your opportunity.
All right, so you've spotted a problem worth solving. Now what? Let's walk through the blueprint for turning that little irritation into a real AI-powered business.
The whole framework is incredibly simple. First, you lock on to that specific pain point. Second, you build what we'll call your bridge. That's your AI-powered solution that gets people from the problem to the fix. And third, you decide on your money flow, basically how you're going to get paid.
Now this bridge part, this is the real game changer. It doesn't have to be some complex, expensive, year-long project anymore. With the AI website builders we have today, you can literally just describe what you want, and poof, a professional-looking site is generated in minutes. This is what puts all the power in the hands of the solo entrepreneur.
So, with your bridge built, it's time to pick your money flow, and you have so many options. You could, say, build an AI automation service for local businesses and charge a monthly subscription, or you could create a digital product, like a guide to making AI art, and sell it for a one-time fee. Or, hey, maybe you're more into ad revenue, affiliate marketing, or even generating leads for other companies. The possibilities are wide open.
Okay, so now you're an AI entrepreneur. You're out there actively creating value. That's your first engine, running and humming. But what about the second one? How do you take the value you're creating and any other money you have and put it to work so it grows for the long haul?
And that brings us right to path number two, becoming the modern investor. Let's take a look at how to put your money to work in this 2026 landscape.
So we're coming back to this core idea: controlled disorder. This is pretty much the central theme for investing as we head into 2026. The world isn't falling apart, no, but it's not exactly sailing on calm seas either. This unique blend of rivalry and cooperation creates a whole new investment environment, and it comes with its own set of risks, but also its own unique opportunities.
In this new world, the old investment playbooks are starting to feel, obsolete. We're seeing some really strange things happen, like gold prices and the stock market going up at the same time, which is something that used to be pretty rare. And that tells us that the old, predictable relationships in the market are shifting under our feet. Our strategies have to adapt too. So the million-dollar question is, how do you build a portfolio that's tough enough to handle all this uncertainty, but also nimble enough to grab the new opportunities as they pop up?
Well, the answer is a classic, but it's a classic for a reason: diversification. In a market where just a handful of giant companies seem to dominate everything, spreading your investments around isn't just a good idea, it's your absolute best defense against risk. It is more critical now than it has been in a very long time.
So what does a modern diversified toolkit actually look like? Well, first, you got to think globally. Look for interesting things happening in different sectors or emerging markets that aren't just tied to the big tech race. Second, hedge your bets with real assets, like gold, that tend to hold their value when the market gets shaky. Third, maybe explore private markets, things like infrastructure projects or private credit, which often move on a totally different beat than the stock market. And finally, you have to stay on top of it. Rebalance your portfolio regularly so you don't end up accidentally overinvested in just a few big names.
All right, let's bring it all home. This was never about choosing one path over the other. It's about combining them, creating this powerful two-engine approach to building your financial future.
This is it. This is the core of the entire playbook, right here. Engine 1 is your active creator, you, using AI to build brand new streams of income. And Engine 2 is your passive grower, a smart, diversified investment plan that quietly builds your wealth in the background. So, I'll leave you with this. You now have the blueprint for a two-engine financial future, one that creates value and one that grows it. The only thing left is to turn the key. Are you ready?